But enough talking about the ferrets. We got a full planned schedule we gotta follow here. But before we get started, I wanted to do something fun. That is, I've never opened a bottle of champagne before. I figured it would be funny for you guys to watch me try to open up a bottle of champagne. I mean, it might not be funny at all, and I might just be able to do it. But, you know, I figured it's worth a shot. May as well try it out on stream. This is Ruffino Prosecco. An Italian champagne. New Year's. I think this is what people do on New Year's. Is they drink champagne. And I like champagne. So, isn't there like a little twisty thing I gotta do? There's the twisty thing. Right. Take the bird cage off. Okay, cool. Okay, that's pretty tight. That was easy. What the? Oh! Okay, that was a lot. That was a lot louder than I expected. That was a lot louder than I expected. How am I supposed to get this back in? Do I have to drink this whole bottle? What's that? It's Prosecco. Ah, it bubbled. Pretty good. Burned my nose. Is it a JoJo character? Got apple Ciroc? Ciroc? It's like a party drink. It's okay. Ciroc is okay. Alright. Not bad. I spilled some on myself. What am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to cover this up so it doesn't lose all its bubbly? Plug it? I don't have anything to plug it up with. Dude, it sucks you have to work on New Year's. That's the worst. Sorry. Use my bell end? There's special stoppers you gotta use? Oh. Whatever. Okay. So... use cotton balls. Fucking cotton balls. Just shove them in there and have them fall into the champagne. Oh, I love seeing the bubbles like rise up in a champagne glass. I don't have earplugs. Anyway. So yeah, it's next year's coming up. Couple hours for us in the East Coast. So I just wanted to do a 2019 year in review. So I guess let me go over the schedule, the docket. I have what I'm proud of from this year. I have what I'm not proud of and the goals that I want to work on. Then next up after that is the Soap Brain Awards. That's the awards that goes out to the members of the community. And then we have my favorite things section. And I have my favorite games that I played this year. My favorite albums, music albums from this year. My favorite anime from this year. And the favorite books and manga from this year. And none of those are in any sort of order. They're just, I didn't like rank them or anything. They're just on a list. So that's what's on the docket today. This is really good. What the fuck? So, 2019, what I was proud of, what I think I did a really good job doing. I kind of realized, let me turn down this music a little bit. I kind of realized when I was making my 2019 in review that I was being a little hard on myself because I had a lot more stuff that I didn't like about what I did this year than what I did like about what I did this year. So I kind of had to ground myself a little bit and not beat myself up so much, because there was some things that I did well, I think. And I think one of those is I got a lot better at Tekken and understanding fighting games. Compared to where I was and to where I am now, I have gotten much better at Tekken, and I've gotten a lot more involved in my locals. I've gone to 3 now. I'm in, chats with some of the people from my local scenes now. I follow them on Twitter, and it's all that is like a very satisfying experience. The going to locals, getting better at Tekken. I've gotten up to orange ranks now, which for me, I was stuck in the green ranks for a while, but I just kind of buckled down. I worked on some shit, and I genuinely felt like I got better. So, hell yeah. That's pretty fucking sweet, and I'm, like, happy about that, because someone showed some statistic that if you have, like, a certain amount of wins in Tekken ranked, then you're already doing more than a lot of people do. They load up Tekken. Sure, as far as a lot of you guys know, Tekken's a hard fucking game. It's really easy to kind of give up on it. So, I'm happy with myself with that. Happy with myself. Not even that. I'm not even good. I don't even think I'm good. I think I've just hit the slightly competent level in Tekken. Just slightly. I don't even think I'm not even close to being considered good. Not even fucking close. Also, you guys like my Kirby shirt? It's Kirby in a Japanese soda bottle. Liz got me this for Christmas. I love this shirt. Such a cute shirt. So another thing that I think I did a really good job of, that I'm proud of, it kind of ties in with Tekken and being involved with that community, is my photography. So this year I took photos at 4 events. I went to 4 events, and I feel like I've gotten pretty good. Not great, but I've gotten like pretty good at taking photos. This is a really good photo that I took. This is a blurry fucking picture. I just really like it. What else? What else we got? This is a really good photo of PogChamp. PogChamp. That I took. Yeah, and I get a lot of, and that's another thing. It's super cool. Orgs really like when you take pictures of their pro players. I love this photo. I love this photo of Chanel so much. This is probably one of my favorite photos of this year, with the bokeh in the background with the lights and all that. I get retweets all the time. I got retweets from fucking Capcom. Capcom retweeted one of my tweets. Which one was it? Capcom retweeted... Which one did Capcom retweet? This one. Capcom retweeted this picture of Daigo playing against... I'm blanking on the kid's name, but he was playing against some younger player. And Daigo's team retweeted it. Capcom retweeted it. Yeah, Dual Kevin. It was Dual Kevin. I believe UIU retweeted this picture I took of Double. So I'm pretty proud of the photos I took this year. And I'm still a noob. And I feel like I do a pretty decent job for a scrub. For a scrub, I think I do a pretty decent job. I just have one lens. I just use a 50mm prime lens. That's it. I don't do anything crazy. I don't even edit my photos. I'm very picky about which ones I like, and so I don't even edit them. I just keep the ones that I like. So like this Juicy, this is a pretty good photo. So these guys were playing Smash Doubles. This is probably my favorite photo from the Juicy Monthly I went to. They're playing Smash Doubles, and as you can see, this player, he's not playing. Oops. He's not playing. His buddy is his duo partner. And he's clearly very focused. He's very concerned. And he ended up clinching out the fucking round. He clinched out the round, and then he ended up doing that. So I thought that was a really cool moment. I don't know what's up with the hoodie covering the nose. I'm not sure what that's all about. But yeah, he was covering up his nose. I think it was maybe... What I thought when I saw it was he was, like, focused. He was, like... That's my only guess. Or maybe this dude just stank. But I really like this photo. I like this series of photos where clearly one guy isn't playing in this duo. He isn't playing. He's the only one alive. And then he... Fuck off, Flickr Pro. He, like, clenched it out, and then I captured this moment. So, yeah, I'm really proud of the photos I took this year. And I think I have a lot of room to get better, considering I use, like, the budget Canon camera. I use a Rebel T6, which is, like, the lowest shit tier Canon you can have. And I just use a 50mm prime lens. So that there's no zoom, none of that shit. It's just like very up close and personal lens. You have to be able to get close and get like really comfortable with being close to people. And yeah. I really like photography, but I'm very picky about it. I'm very picky about where I like to take photos. And I want to get better at it and take more photos, but I don't really know what I could go around and do. Like, I don't want to just like take photos of like people in a park. I don't care about that. That's not what I have any interest in. I think I have a slight advantage in photographing fighting games because I know what's happening. I know when the moments are gonna go down. Like, for example, in this, I knew that this Dragon Ball match was coming to an end. So I kind of made the conscious decision to go to the crowd instead of going to the players. And I was able to get this guy doing this thing. You know? So I'm able to... Since I'm able to recognize when the moments are, I know... Like, if I see, like, a big combo is happening, I can kind of, like, think, okay, who's going to be freaking out, right? The crowd, the player might be freaking out. If it's a player that I know is going to do something extra, then I'll, like, make a particular note of myself to, okay, like, Chanel is going to be playing. Chanel, when he wins, he usually puts on a little celebration. So let me try and get close to the stage so that I can get a photo of Chanel. This is another good photo I took. So yeah, I'm proud of the photography I took. I'm proud of it. Yeah, it makes total sense to do FGC photo stuff. Exactly. Yep. So moving down the list, another thing that I was pretty happy with myself and doing was advancing my career in the legal field. Not that this is related to any sort of gaming or streaming stuff, but it was something that I'm pretty proud of. I mean, the kind of the long story short was after I got fired from Sam's, you guys kind of helped me out last year, keeping me afloat. And I got a job pretty by like happenstance. I kind of lucked my way through, I think. Got a job working for a company that does like third-party legal services for attorneys. And from there, I was like, I kind of like this field. It's not the most exciting. It's not the kindest. Attorneys can be very intense people, but I was like, I kind of like it, and I liked it a lot more than working retail, and so I kind of stuck with it, and I worked at that job for about a year, and I also ended up switching my field of study to the legal program at my local college. And at that point, my dad found out that one of his friends who owns a construction litigation firm was hiring people to be a legal assistant to help him with his cases and stuff. And it all kind of fell into place, and I ended up getting a really good job at a really successful construction litigation law firm. And now I'm helping in some like incredibly important cases. Like, and I can't say what they are. I can't say anything about them, but they're incredibly important and they're like big deals. And it just feels good to be a part of stuff like that. And so, and I fucking lucked my way through. This is like an incredible resume thing as well. Being a part of a law firm like this already. Is it comfy though? It is. I really like this job I'm working for. They're very, very nice. They, I got free flavored water at all times. How much are you getting paid for? Paid though. I don't know why I said paid for. Paid though. I'm not going to disclose that, but it's the most I've ever been paid. I'm getting paid now more than I have ever been paid in any job. And it's pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. And so I'm pretty proud of myself for figuring that out and getting a career or a job in a field that so far I really like. So good on me for that one. Good on me for that one. So the last thing in what I'm proud of 2019 is, this is a small one, but it is something I am proud of, is that I've picked up more artistic works in terms of reading and music. I've picked up a lot of more different types of music, a lot more different artists, and opened my brain up to different musical ideas so that I can enjoy them. Music is like, when I'm not home, I'm like listening to music. I always have my earbuds in at work. I'm always listening to new albums, and I just am proud of myself for being more open to that shit and discovering a lot more different artists. Same with reading. This year, maybe a couple months ago, I was having a lot of trouble sleeping and just with anxiety in general as it comes and goes with me. And so I was like, let me try reading. Let me try reading to distract my brain, something to do before bed that isn't in front of a computer screen, because I'm in front of a screen all day when I'm at work. I'm in front of a screen when I get home. Let me read. Let me do some more reading. And, I mean, I've picked up quite a few books. All these books down here are all stuff I've picked up in the past couple of months. About 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-ish books here. And one over on my nightstand that I'm reading right now. And so I've picked up reading, and I've picked up more music and different types of music. So it just feels satisfying. It's very rewarding, and I feel like it definitely helps in terms of keeping me sane. So I'm proud of that. I'm happy about that. Not that that's particularly difficult or hard, but it is something that I am happy I did. So there's a fly in my room. Empty, did you send this fly? Empty, I know you're having trouble with flies in your room. There's a fly in here. Better you than me. Reading a couple chapters before bed is always great. Yeah, it's great. I love reading in bed now. Like, I do it even on the weekends and stuff. It's just comfortable. Great. This fly is literally trying to get into my champagne. It's on the glass. What are you? Empty, stop trying to poison me. He's got 3-3. So now to move on to stuff I'm not happy with about what I've okay, let me clear this up. Stuff I want to improve on, and stuff I need to work on, and stuff I'm not happy with. So it's not necessarily something I'm doing wrong. It's a mixture of stuff I fucked up and stuff that I want to just improve in general. So the first being, and I know this has been a topic. Fly, fuck off. This has been my God. This has been a topic on the stream a lot, and it's being more consistent with streaming. I'm not good at it. Drink the fly? I'm about to. I'm not very consistent with how I stream. And I think that it ties into the other thing that I wrote down here, and that's finding some sort of identity for what I want this channel to be. The just coming on and playing video game is getting a little old for me. Getting a little old. I've done this for a while. I've streamed on and off since like 2012. My account is from 2011. I've streamed on and off since 2012. I've gone through all sorts of different game things. You know, I streamed StarCraft exclusively at first, and then from StarCraft I streamed a lot of variety, and at one point I was like an Arma 3 streamer, and that's all I streamed for like half a year. And then I went back to variety, and then I got into fighting games, and I just played a bunch of fighting games, and then I get into variety. And so it's hard to be. I want an identity for the stream. I want something that I can like put myself into, and it just going live and playing a game. Not that it's not enjoyable. I still like it, but it's not motivating anymore. That makes sense. Does that make sense? IRL streams, maybe. Something I do want to do more is cooking streams, and I was going to get into that more until I got a broken laptop sent to me, and I wasn't able to do it. IRL streams, I don't go anywhere. Did you order another one? No, not yet. The holidays made it way too hard for me to justify spending that money again. But cooking streams are something I want to do more of. Reading the chat? I don't really think reading to chat would be good. I know some people do it, but That's thanks for the ideas. So yeah, that's like how I feel, is that I'm just not particularly motivated to just go live and play video game. I want there to be some sort of identity behind it. I just don't know what I want that to be. And, you know, I thought, okay, maybe I can do some sort of fighting game focused stream. Maybe I could do some sort of podcast focused kind of content, or like, I don't know. It's the ideas are still not quite there for me, and I'm always open to ideas and criticism and all that, as you guys know that. Like, you're gonna have to not flush things. Well, here's the thing, and that's also on this list, is I want to, if I do end up playing single player games, I want to not flush them. It's just, right now, the concept or the idea of just like getting on and playing a single player game isn't exciting to me. It's not like repulsive, but it's not exciting to me either. It doesn't motivate me. So it's hard. It's hard to try and find the motivation to do it. Right now, a lot of my motivation is going into fighting games. A lot of my motivation is going into fighting games. I really like Tekken a lot. I want to give Grand Blue a good old college try as well. So the first idea that really pops up into my head right now is making a lot more fighting game focused content. And my fighting game focused content on YouTube does pretty good as well. My Tekken World Tour commentary videos, you remember when I was able to restream the Tekken World Tour earlier this year? It gets like hundreds of views. I mean, obviously people are Googling Tekken World Tour, but the fact that it has hundreds of views means that people are sticking around and watching. They're not just clicking it and being like, oh, this guy is dumb and leaving, but it's still getting... No, like, they're sticking around for at least a couple of minutes. I think the viewer retention on some of them was like an hour or so. And just my Tekken videos that I've uploaded just throughout the months, where it's just matches against random people, they get like 50 views compared to when I upload a YouTube video of like a stream where I'm playing a single player game that gets like 5. It's pretty big to me. When a video of me playing against some dumbass on Tekken Ranked gets 50 to 100 views, but then this video of me playing Sekiro gets 5, it's like, it's pretty sweet. It's honestly really nice to see. This Dynasty Warriors. Let me see. Dynasty Warriors 4 Heavy Gauge is the song. So that's the first, that's like the biggest idea I have in my head, is making fighting game focused content. And having the identity of the channel. This is the term that keeps sticking in my head. The identity of the channel being SirSoapy. Twitch.tv/SirSoapy is a fighting game focused stream. And that gives me something to like put my energy into. Dude, this fly still here. I can't crush it when it's on. Okay, what? I don't want to smash it on the glass because then it'll be fucking dead fly. The cup. That's the biggest idea I have in my head. You tried this before and went super depressed and went, feels bad, man. I have something to say about that. I was playing Street Fighter V. Not my fault. That's my answer. Well, here's the thing, and that's kind of a joke. But I think I have a much better understanding of fighting games now. Back then, I was pretty not knowledgeable about fighting games, about how they worked. Like, I knew how to somewhat play them. I knew what a combo was. I knew what frame data was. But there's more to it than that. And I feel like now I have a much better understanding. Yeah, it's like there's definitely something that like has to click. And I feel like now I definitely understand fighting games a lot better. And so that's why I think I want to give that a try. Let's see. Maybe get new UI for stream and whatnot because you currently have a Dark Souls-esque feel. That's not very fighting game focused. You got very Dark Souls font. This is like my font. It's called like something witches. I won't say my font. It's a font that I found that no one uses. I mean, like, yeah, I'm open to a whole redesign of that kind of stuff. I definitely feel like it's really overplayed to have like a comic book theme or like the fighting game like color theme for like a fighting game content creator. Like, yeah, like a gamer theme. Like, it's way too overdone. So I think an update to this look is in order. I think I can keep the font and just kind of maybe liven it up a little bit, make it a little bit more exciting since fighting games are, you know, a bit more flashy. I think that's a good idea. I would need to find someone to help me make it, but yeah, that's a good idea. Empty, I need you to start making me some new emo. Make it RGB. Yeah. This is the first idea that comes to my head, but I don't want it to be the only idea in my head. So if you guys have any ideas, obviously you don't need to tell me right now, but if you have any ideas, let me know. Oh, I'm sorry if that was loud. I did not. So those things are something I really want to work out. Being more consistent, finding a direction and an identity for the stream, and if I do end up playing single player games, actually finishing the single player. Where's the well, he's not in my drink, so that's all I care about. And I hope that whatever I do end up doing, you guys enjoy. And if you don't, I'm sorry. And you don't have to watch, and that's okay. I understand that not everyone likes my fighting game content. And people like to see me play single player games and experience those through me. And that's why I'm not 100% sold on being a fighting game focused content creator. Because I do know that there is a lot of gems. There's a lot of gems that come out of me playing single player games. And there is something that kind of stings at the idea of missing out on that potential too. So it's hard. It's a hard thing to balance. But that's what's something I want to focus on. Another thing I want to do is growing the Discord channel more. I think that if you're a streamer and you don't have a Discord channel, I think Discord is more useful than like a Twitter or like a Facebook or anything like that. I think Discord channels are way more important than any of that shit. And it's because of what exactly Empty said. It keeps people way more engaged. I can keep and keep tabs on what people are saying. I'm able to chat with people even off stream when I'm out in Miami. I'm able to post pictures and you guys can see them instantly. It's another good way of getting your stream out when you're going live, as long as people don't mute your server, which I completely understand if you mute my server. I even mute my own server sometimes, so I totally get it. Yeah, you can celebrate Fursuit Friday. So another good goal for myself, just keeping the Discord channel growing. I always say to you guys, if you have friends who you think would be cool to have around the Discord, feel free to invite them. They're always welcome. The more the merrier, all that fun stuff. Who has friends? I mean, I don't, so that's what I'm saying. If you have friends, let me know. Because I need some. The other thing, on a more serious note, is keeping my kind of anxiety waves in check. You guys see me every now and then where I just get anxiety and I lose all motivation and I end up overthinking a lot of things, and it's no bueno. It's not fun, and it ruins the streams and it ruins the content. It makes it incredibly difficult sometimes. So, keeping that in check, I've found a couple of things that really help. I've done a lot more meditative measures in my life. I've picked up reading before bed. That usually helps me with sleep. And sleep is a huge thing that gets affected by my anxiety, where I just won't be able to sleep at all. I've been doing a decent job of keeping up with my exercise, but definitely doing more exercise. I've been kind of slacking and not going as hard as I probably should on my working out the past couple of months. So keeping up with all that stuff, just staying on top of it. Obviously, there's going to be times where I'm just not feeling it. That's okay. So that's another goal, something I've need to work on, and that it's really important to me, and it's obviously important making sure that all this other stuff, for it to go well, my head needs to be in the right place. So that's another thing that I need to work on. And finally, one of the last things I want to work on more is going out to more fighting game events, taking more photos, and meeting more people just in that area, and making some more connections in that way. And I don't just mean in terms of like social media, like growth connections. I just mean like meeting people that, maybe to me, it seems like a really cool idea to bring, like, I meet someone, make friends with them at one of these Tekken tournaments or something, and then like they come over to my fucking house and we play like a 1st to 20 on stream, and it's like a thing. It's like it seems like something cool that I could do. Real life Tekken and real life fighting games in general, it just produces better quality matches. So imagine if I, in a couple of months or whatever, halfway into the year, I make a real concerted effort into meeting people and meeting people who want to come over and play video games and play fighting games, and sitting down and doing fucking like 1st to 20s and all that stuff. It just seems like it could only lead to good things. Also, going out and just taking more photos in general to kind of add on to my photography stuff that I've been doing this year. So, yeah. That's the last thing that I kind of really want to work on and improve. Yeah, celebrate Fursuit Friday together. Exactly. Okay, So now we're gonna move on to the Soap Brain Awards. Now I hope everyone who has an award is here. If they're not, I'll let them know. So this is a joke. This is a joke. Okay, the Soap Brain Awards are just stupid little titles I give out to people, to the members of the community who have made an impact. An impact, good or bad. So here we go. So we have, this is a serious award. I say serious, but it's also just like a factual award. And that goes for the most active member, most chatting, posting the most Fursuit Friday pictures on Friday, making the most clips, all that fun stuff. And that everyone knows is Empty. He always is like the top chatter every month. I get little updates. He's always chats the most. He's the most active on the Discord, and he makes the most towers in fucking Warcraft for sure. So he's definitely the most active member of the community, and it's nice to you always hear it's hard to stream if you don't have someone to talk to. And obviously you guys are here and you're talking, but there's definitely some streams where people just aren't around, and that's okay. But Empty's always there talking shit, and I always have someone to yell at. So there's that. So thanks, Empty. I really appreciate you hanging out all the time, and chatting and all that fun stuff. So most active member goes to Empty. At least 4. Okay, we're not going to get into this right now. Anyway, next award. I call this the Ferret Favorite Award. Which person in my community do the ferrets really approve of? Whose pants do they want to crawl up and sniff their butts? And I mean, Proto is clearly the winner of the Ferret Favorite Award. When my ferrets caught a whiff of Proto's butt, they were fucking onto him like white on rice. And they wanted to go up his butthole. And that's awesome. So congrats to Proto for being the ferret favorite of the year. And Beeline, yeah. Yeah, Proto, the ferrets really fucking were into him, and they were running around and jumping all over him, and he was over here for CEO, and I think he wanted to stay for the ferrets. So Proto wins Ferret Favorite of the Year. I'm gonna need a drink for this next one. This next award, I call it, I think I titled this wrong. Okay, I don't remember what I called it. Here, Professional Burglar. The person that has stole the most from me this year. The person who has fucked me the most. Stolen rounds in fighting games. Stolen potential wins in other games. And that's Ace. Ace manages every day to rob me in fighting games. He every day. It's not an exaggeration. He's usually my co-op. I do have proof, so don't make me pull it up. Actually, we'll do it. I'm pulling up proof. You guys want to see some of the crap I have to deal with against this guy. Let's see this. Hold on. I'm pulling up one clip. I have proof. So, Zach and I, or Ace in the chat, for those who don't know, his name's Zach. This is me. I'm the big dude, and this is Zach, the bitch. So, we were playing last night, and we were playing some Tekken, and I have a move that's an uppercut. An uppercut launches you so that I can combo you. That's how it works in fighting games, if you weren't aware. So everything's fine. You know, we're doing this. What the fuck was... Okay, here it is. Here's the robbery. Here's a robbery. One uppercut. He's hit. He's hit by the uppercut. Also, in Tekken, combos do a lot of damage. They do a lot of damage. This is a lot of wasted potential. One uppercut. Okay, that's fine. Doesn't... He fucking floats and he drops to the ground. Okay. Oh, wait. It needs to keep going. Go back. 1 second. There was one before that.
See, XCOM 2 has a...
Oh, God. I was playing a clip from Zach talking. XCOM 2. I opened it up on the wrong player. So, there was 2 uppercuts in a row that were highly, highly illegal. And there's many, many examples of this. We'll just keep it playing from here. 1. 2. Come on. What else can I do? What can I do? This is almost 70... I can get about 70 damage off of an uppercut. So, do the math. That's 2 uppercuts that didn't connect. So, this is just an example. I have many, many clips. I have many, many clips of being robbed by Zach. So, Zach earns Best Burglar of the Year, most robberies. Congratulations. It's a very high honor. Very high honor. Keep me out of jail. Alright, so this next Soap Brain Award, it goes to someone who is always sending me photos of their little critters, and that's Zaf. Zaf wins the Cutest Pets Soap Brain Award. I don't know if he's here right now. He's literally got all the most adorable fucking animals. He's always sending me Snapchats and sending me pictures on Discord of his cute animals. And I appreciate it because I like animals. So if you want to win this award next year, send me cute pictures of your cats and dogs and reptiles and all that. Just post them on the Discord for everyone to see. Everyone needs to share more pictures of their pets. I want to see? Well, I mean... You got to get on Zaf's good side. So, congratulations, Zaf. You won Cutest Pets that make me want to get reptiles again, because I used to have a bunch of reptiles, and Zaf always sends me cute fucking pictures of his reptiles, and it's great. And he sends me cute pictures of his dogs, and that's also great. So, thank you, Zaf, for that. Cutest animals of the year, Zaf. I don't have a phone for Diablo Immortal or pictures. I mean, I can send you like a disposable camera. So this is another another award for someone who sends me stuff. And that is Tedster. I don't know if Tedster's here. He was in here earlier. Tedster has the best memes. And he puts them on Instagram. And I genuinely laugh at some of this shit that Tedster posts and sends on Instagram of some of the memes, because they are top quality, high class memes. It doesn't look like Tedster's here right now, but hey, Tedster, you won, just so you know in the future. And I'm not kidding. This is good shit that I don't see anywhere else that Tedster manages to dig up and find. So good job, Tedster. The next award is most likely to get their song request skipped. And I mean, you guys can go ahead and try and guess who this. Oh, there's Ted. I said you won the best memer award because you have the best memes. Most likely to get their song request skipped award. Who's getting that? We got Proto, we got Guggen, we got Alright, yeah, it's fucking Guggen. Guggen wins the most likely to get his song request skipped. I don't know if that's a prestigious award or not. I mean, it might be. It might be, but he won it. I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm sure if you're a man of Guggen's great social class and stature, you're probably pretty proud of it. So, congratulations to Guggen. We have the best waifu award, and that always will go to Gamegasms or Liz. She's usually in the chat, but she's not able to talk much. She's always texting me. You got the fucking red cards coming out. She's watching. She's always got her eye on the chat, so she sees when you guys are talking shit. And she actually helps a lot behind the scenes. You guys don't really see, just in terms of keeping me sane and motivating me to stream. There's been many times where Liz has been like, why aren't you streaming? Why aren't you live? Da-da-da-da. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm being lazy. And then she'd like, fucking stream, you dumbass. And yeah, she's the behind the scenes game fact. So she wins best waifu because she's always helping me out with that stuff. And it's appreciated. So thank you, Liz or Gamegasms in the chat and on the Discord and stuff. We have the most likely to make me feel like I'm being yelled at by my dad award. I mean, we can you guys can go ahead and throw out your guesses in the chat. Alright, let's see what people. Empty, Asaku, Kotaku. I mean, yeah, it's it's a bit of a meme. It's Asaku. What are y'all talking about? I'm always encouraging. I mean, look at what I said about the photos earlier. You see, this is why it feels like I'm being yelled at by my dad, because Asaku has like, it's very similar to my dad in real life, where every now and then I'll get like a little like token of like, you did good, son. Good job. Every now, like once a year, he'll say, I love you. But the rest of the year, it's like, fuck you, you dumb bitch. No, I'm just kidding. That was a little bit too serious, but it's the running joke that Isaku's the constantly disappointed father figure in the chat. So he wins the most disappointed, most likely to make me feel like I disappointed my father award. And then we have and this is a statistic. This isn't just like a feeling. The most punished. I'm gonna just guess who's the most punished in the chat. Let's throw a couple names out there. Guggen. All right, that's a guess we have going. Jim, I'll do Guggen. Proto, put a fucking gun. Proto shoots Guggen all the time. Yeah. I mean, it's going to Jim. Jim wins the most banned award for statistically getting shot the most times. I should probably call him the fucking Terminator because he's been shot so many times and he's still here. So congratulations, Jim. You win the Terminator award because you've got shot a whole fucking bunch. And you're still kicking and you're still here. And congratulations. And then we have the biggest dunce award. Who do you guys think the biggest dunce award is going to go to? Biggest dunce soap brand award. Pet's just saying you. Is it me again? All right, coming from Jim. I think it's illegal to award yourself. You just can't give yourself awards? I mean, it's too fucking late. What else would a dunce do than give himself an award in his own award show than give myself an award? So I win the biggest dunce. I already got the fucking title on Discord, all right? Use the fucking emotes, you plebs. So that is the end of the Soap Brain Awards. To recap. Most active. Empty. The ferret favorite. Proto. Burglar of the year. Zach or Aced. Sends me the cutest pictures of his pets and has the best pets. Zaf. Has the best memes. The freshest memes. That's Tedster. Most likely to make me feel like I disappointed my father. Asaku. Most likely to get song requests skipped. It goes to Guggen. The waifu for Laifu award goes to Liz or Gamegasms. The Terminator award for getting shot and coming back constantly and getting banned is Jem. And then the biggest dunce is me. Congratulations to all the winners. You don't get anything. So, memes A1. I mean, yeah, Tetsu, I'm not kidding. You don't know how many times I have sent a meme that you've posted to Liz and we just like die laughing because it's you find some good shit. You find some primo stuff. Expect to be start. Wow, I've drank quite a bit of this bottle. You guys can't really tell because of how dark it is. It's about to right here. So I had about this much champagne. It's a sad life? It's not sad. You're bringing joy. Nice water. Thanks. Remember last year when you were promised special roles? What? You got roles. You didn't? You should have told me. I'm sorry. Are you sure? I removed them before the stream, so if you don't have them right now, that's why. I gave everyone awards. Or I gave them their roles. I'm sorry. So we're going to move on to my favorite things of this year. How many of them are dribbling cocks? None of them are. So, my favorite things of the year. First, we're going to do games. And for games, let me go ahead and pause because I have some videos for this. Actually, I'm not going to play the audio from this. We can continue. So my favorite games from this year are, first of all, gotta play the audio. I mean, what I found was gameplay from my streams, just like random. There's nothing particular going on in them. It's just like gameplay from the stream. It's nothing crazy. Something I probably have enjoyed the most this year, something I've sank the most time into this year, and that is Tekken 7 Season 3. I have played an absurd amount of Tekken 7 Season 3. And it's been a lot of fun. I think that Tekken has the most bang for buck, like, season passes, just in terms of, like, updates and characters and just overall meta shifts and, like, keeping the game fresh. It's quite, like, refreshing, I guess, to say the least, to have a game that you can come back to constantly. And Tekken has been able to do that for me this year. Specifically this year. I mean, I played Tekken last year, but not like how I'm playing it this year. I've always been on the hunt. I'm always on the hunt to find a game that makes me feel like StarCraft made me feel. StarCraft is a game I was always able to come back to. I was always able to play. It didn't feel stale or boring or anything like that. It was always like there for me. I think that's the best term to use. It was always there for me. StarCraft was. So Tekken has consistently been a great fucking time. And so Tekken 7 Season 3 is probably my favorite multiplayer experience of the year. So that's number. Okay, there's no numbers. I don't know why I said that's what. I don't know why I said that. That's number one. That's what I was going to say because there's no numbers for these. But that's one of my favorite games of the year, Tekken 7 Season 3. To stick on the fighting game path, Mortal Kombat 11 was another experience that was one of my favorites from this year. Now, might be asking why, because I don't really play it that much anymore on stream or off stream. But Mortal Kombat for some reason, Mortal Kombat 11 was the game that made fighting games click to me. And that actually transferred over to when I went from, because I was playing Tekken. Mortal Kombat 11 came out. I played that for about 2 months, and then I went back to Tekken. When I went back to Tekken, I actually started playing better after I came from Mortal Kombat 11. And I can't really put my finger on it, exactly what it was. But for some reason, I think it was learning this new fighting game, because I'd never played a Mortal Kombat game before. I taught myself how to really learn a fighting game through learning Mortal Kombat 11. I'd learned plenty of fighting games before Mortal Kombat 11. I tried to learn Street Fighter, Dragon Ball, Marvel, Guilty Gear, Soul Calibur. I just listed 5 fighting games. I'm sure there's more that I've tried to pick up. But Mortal Kombat 11, I don't know what it was, but it just like clicked to me how to learn a fighting game. South Cali? I don't know why I said SoCal. Soul Calibur. I've been drinking. I'm sorry. Soul Calibur. Soul Calibur. Yeah, exactly. Mortal Kombat 11, it has its issues, but it has this is a video of the story mode. It has probably the best story mode of any fighting game I've ever played. Has a pretty good online when you're not playing against a Wi-Fi warrior, but that's the case for any fighting game. It's a pretty good looking fighting game. It's one of the best looking fighting games in my opinion. It has a really, really good tutorial and learning system. And I just think it was a great game. I think Mortal Kombat 11 is a fucking sweet ass game. Why you gotta be so toxic? Nothing wrong with Wi-Fi. Empty, you're gonna make me drink more. Making me drink more. All right, this is your fault. If I die, it's your fault. My specialty. So yeah, Mortal Kombat 11, great fighting game. I actually plan on playing this a bit more in the future. I think my biggest issues with it, and what kind of stopped me from playing it, was the meta a bit. The meta was a bit fucked up, but I feel like the NRS tops and the NRS devs, they're pretty aware of some of the meta issues, and I feel like they're pretty good at adapting and changing things. So Mortal Kombat 11, keeping on the fighting game train, is another one of my favorite games from this year. And I pretty much accredit it to what clicked in my head with learning fighting games. So another game, not a fighting game, that I really enjoyed this year. Something that I want to finish. Maybe I'll finish it off stream. But it was an incredible game. Was Sekiro. Sekiro is a fucking cool ass game. I love watching people play this game. I really liked playing it, as angry as it made me. It's a fucking sweet game. I love the graphics and the aesthetic. I think the bosses are like some of the coolest bosses of any fighting, or just said fighting game, of any game I've played. I haven't finished it. I think I got about halfway through it. And I really, really enjoyed the time I played it. And I think I need to almost make a promise to myself to finish this game soon. I need to finish this game soon. Oh god, I think I have a hiccup. Oh god. Okay, it's gone. The Sekiro, good ass game. If you guys haven't tried this game, I highly, highly suggest you try it. Fucking sweet. And it's, I think, should be on everyone's Steam library. I think that the only real critique I can give of this game is that sometimes fighting just the random enemies can get a little tedious. It feels like you're just spamming parries against like all the scrub enemies, but it's so fluid and the movement is so good that it doesn't really matter that much. It doesn't really matter that much. This game is pretty fucking sweet, and so it feels a little wrong to have it on one of my favorite games of the year, and I haven't even finished it, but it's still on a list, and it's the fucking Soap Brain Awards stream, so clearly this isn't a very good award show. So great fucking game. Good job, Sekiro. You were a great fucking game, and I need to play it. I need to finish. I need to finish it, I should say. So my favorite video game of the year, absolute favorite video game of the year. What do you guys think this is? What are your guys' guesses? Yeah, Zach already knows. Anthem. No, it wasn't. It's not Persona. That was last year. All right, no one's really giving any serious answers, so I'll just fucking say it. It was Resident Evil 2 Remake. This is probably... This is probably my favorite game I've played in a long time. This game was fucking. I said this to Zach, and this is why he said he couldn't say. I think that this is almost a perfect game. I'm really trying to think of like something I don't like about it. I can't think of anything I don't like about Resident Evil 2 Remake. I really can't. And I'm not trying to be hyperbolic or anything like that. I genuinely can't think of a negative thing about this game. And if you guys have one that might be, please let me know. Because I tried. I tried for a while. And exactly, one of the only games to get fished out of the septic tank was Resident Evil 2 Remake. And that just goes to show how fucking good this game is. It's fucking gorgeous. The story, obviously it's a remake. A lot of people were saying that it couldn't be on like any sort of top game of the year list because it's a remake. I just don't think that's the case at all. I saw, it's a hot take. I saw a lot of people with that take. I can't follow that philosophy. I think this game is fucking perfect. It's genuinely, I can't think of a single thing wrong with it. I guess maybe some more DLC support or something, but even then, that doesn't take away from what the core of the game is, right? Like, so fucking good. Such a good game. This is a game I could see myself coming back and playing, and like at least once a year. You know what I mean? And it's gorgeous. The sound design is some of the best I've experienced in any game. The music is incredible. The story is good. It has just the perfect amount of like Resident Evil cheese to it. I can definitely thank Empty for this, for introducing me to Resident Evil, because I think I'm just like a Resident Evil fan now. I played Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil 2 Remake, and I've loved all of them. And I never would have thought of myself to be a Resident Evil person. It never really was on my radar until Empty kind of convinced me to try it. And ever since then, I've been a fan. I love this game, and I've loved all the other Resident Evil games. And yeah, what wasn't Resident Evil Remake, Resident Evil 1 Remake, like my favorite game from last year? Or it was like one of them? Yeah, like it's Resident Evil 1 Remake was one of my favorite games I've ever played. Such a fucking good game. I need to do a Chris playthrough of that. Sounds fucking. So, Resident Evil 2 Remake, it's fucking choice. It's really good. It's a borderline perfect game. And I fucking love it. It's a great game. So those are my favorite games from this year. Those were my favorite games from this year. Resident Evil 2 Remake, Tekken 7 Season 3, Mortal Kombat 11, Sekiro. All those games gave me a stiff dick. So moving on to some of the where's Fortnite? Dude, I've played like 5 games of Fortnite in my Moving on to some of the other things that I'm hoping you guys just give a chance, because I don't talk about a lot of this stuff. I kind of keep it to myself, but I just wanted to put it out there to the world. If you guys are interested in these things, please do yourself a favor and check them out. And we'll do some of my favorite albums from this year. Do some of my favorite albums from this year. How about that? Music, like I mentioned earlier, in the stream is a huge part of my day outside of streaming. I am always listening to new albums, listening to music, especially at work. I kind of treat work, because I just sit at a desk and I do legal work all day. So listening to music at work is kind of how I keep a little bit sane. It's music and podcasts are like I'm constantly listening, but mostly music. And so these were my favorite albums that I just really, really, really liked this year. And I implore you to check them out. If Red Vox isn't on here, Red Vox didn't come out this year. But Red Vox is good. I'll let you know. Red Vox isn't on this list. So none of this is in order. I'm just kind of going down a list that I wrote. One of my favorite albums from this year was, and also best album name ever, was Jesus Forgive Me, I Am a Thought by by JPEG Mafia. It's a fucking sweet album if you're into weird rap, experimental rap. I think that's probably the closest genre I would put it into is experimental rap. Very strange, a lot of different angles that go into it. Very abrasive. I love abrasive music. Liz always tells me that every time she's in the car with me, everything that I listen to is very weird and abrasive. That kind of fits into this category. It's an incredible album. Almost every song on it I like. Very, very good lyrics. Very topical as well. A lot of references to political events and stuff like that. So I'm kind of into that stuff a bit. If you guys know what I talk about every now and then in terms of politics. And so JPEG Mafia, Jesus Forgive Me, I'm a Thought is a really good experimental rap hip hop album. I fucking love it. I listen to it at least once a month now. It's pretty sweet. Let's see. So a kind of out of left field album that I really liked that I didn't expect to like was Miami Memory by Alex Cameron. He's like I don't know what exactly genre I would put this in. I guess indie pop maybe, or like indie, maybe just like indie in general. Alex Cameron, Miami Memory. It's pretty much taboo topics put in a way that makes them seem normal and makes them kind of like respectable. He has a song about sex work and about stripping, and the way he frames it is, it's, usually people kind of look down on people for using sex work let me rephrase that. People usually look down on sex workers. People usually look down on strippers. But the way he frames a song is usually, or like he kind of frames it as, the people going to see the sex workers are the weaker ones, and the sex workers are in full control of their life. So like strippers or whatever, they're the ones in control. They're the ones making these people come to them. So, and that's just one of the songs. And he has a very nice voice. It reminds me of like 80s pop in a way, like think kind of like David Bowie-esque singing, and some pretty good, like, I hate using this word, but kind of like groovy background music to it. It's a fucking sweet album, and it's almost perfect, I would say. It's a really, really fucking good album. It's very thoughtful, and it covers really good topics. Usually if an album covers topics that are interesting to me, that make me think, I typically like it. Let's see. Another album I really liked was Igor by Tyler, the Creator. Tyler, the Creator, Tyler, the Creator is kind of someone I was introduced me to rap with Odd Future way back in like 9th grade of high school is when I started listening to rap. That was with Odd Future, and he's gone through a lot of changes. So when he came out with Igor, which was a really weird album, and I wouldn't even call this a rap album. I don't know what I would put this in. It's more like R&B than rap, I would say, but it also has rap elements, but it also is just something completely on its own. And I know that's vague, but it's fucking awesome. I guess maybe alternative R&B could be a good word for it. It's such a fucking good album. It's like Magic Wand is great on that album. Probably one of the best songs of the year, I would argue. It's so unique. There's nothing like it. And it's so weird, which I love. I love weird music. So shout out Tyler, the Creator, and Igor's fucking sweet. Let's see. So let's keep it rap related. The Clipping album, There Existed an Addiction to Blood, is probably one of the best rap albums I've ever heard. It's very horror themed, and I love horror. I love horror movies. I love horror games, and I love horror novels. So everything about it was sweet as fuck. It's fucking Clipping, so you know that they're going to be incredibly talented in terms of their lyrics. Also very topical, also incredibly creative, and a very addictive album to listen to. I always go back to this album, sometimes like on a weekly basis. So good fucking job, Clipping. That was a great album. And then the punk album by Otoboke Beaver, Itekoma Hits, is probably one of my favorite punk albums ever. It's a Japanese, you guys have heard me listen to it, Japanese all-female punk band. It's a pretty much perfect album. I don't think there's a single song on that album I don't like. A couple of songs on like some of these albums I've mentioned I don't dislike, but if I'm in a particularly picky mood, I might skip. There isn't a single song on Itekoma Hits that I will skip. It's pretty much perfect from back to back. If you like punk, if you just like rock or heavy music in general, listen to that album. It's really good. It's, I would say, perfect. And it blows the fuck out of any punk that's being made in America these days. I said it. I said it. I said it. And finally, the last album on this list is the self-titled album by Purple Mountains. It's called Purple Mountains, and it's by Purple Mountains. I'm a little intoxicated, so you have to forgive me. I'm blanking on the guy's name. I am so sorry. Okay, sorry. David Berman. David Berman was like a folk singer, and he was in the music group Silver Jews back in the early 2000s and late 90s. And he kind of fell off the map for a bit, and he came back and he made a solo album and a solo, it sounds weird to say solo group, but he came out with a solo album under the name Purple Mountains. And he also named the album Purple Mountains. And David Berman committed suicide a couple of weeks after this album came out. And there's something with that in mind, because I listened to this album after that, knowing what he was thinking about when he made the album, made it such a more important album to me. And it's a very depressing album in the first place, but knowing that he was really going through it like that, to the point that he really did kill himself after he put out this album. You hear a lot of music coming out about suicide and stuff. I mean, I can just play the opening to one of these songs and you guys can hear. Not that I'm gonna play the whole song, but this is like the opening. Or like the start to one of the songs.
Friends are warmer than gold when you're old. Keeping them is harder than you
I love his voice. I love kind of
lately I tend to make strangers
burly,
wherever I go.
borderline country almost voices.
Some of them were once people I was happy to know. Mounting mileage on the dash, double darkness falling fast. I keep stressing, pressing on. Way deep down, some substratum. Feels like something really wrong has happened. I confess I'm barely hanging on.
Yeah, kind of Johnny Cash. I can see that.
All my happiness is gone.
So yeah, and just fucking heart-wrenching. This album is heart-wrenching. But it's makes it impactful and emotional in a way that like not many albums can do for me. I think you guys have heard me talk about the album by Mount Eerie, A Crow Looked at Me Once. This and that album are pretty much on a similar field in terms of just sheer emotional impact. Mount Eerie, A Crow Looked at Me Once, his wife died and he was writing the album and writing the music as his wife was dying and after the fact, after his wife died of cancer. And it's just like the most raw shit ever. And this is an album by a guy who you can't convince me this guy didn't know that he was going to kill himself after he put out this album. So just the sheer raw emotion of it, and it's genuinely well played in terms of instrumentals. He does all the guitar himself and all the singing. He has a very nice voice to me. It's a fucking good album. And it has that emotional impact that I think it doesn't need to be in all music, but when it is, you do come across it, is like really fucking good. And yeah, it's very impactful. I really, really, really like Purple Mountains. It's a good fucking album. Good album. Don't suggest listening to it if you're sad though. If you're sad, you're gonna be it'll make you sad. But if you're sad, you're gonna get super sad, incredibly depressed. So yeah, those are my favorite albums from this year. Jesus Forgive Me, I Am a Thought by JPEG Mafia, Igor by Tyler the Creator, Itakoma Hits by Otoboke Beaver, Purple Mountains, There Existed an Addiction to Blood by Clipping, and Miami Memory by Alex Cameron. All my favorite albums this year. Alright, so anime. My favorite anime from this year. I'm not like a huge anime breakdown guy. I'm a pretty casual anime watcher, but I just wanted to talk about some of my favorite stuff. Some of my favorite anime from this year. No, JoJo isn't on the list. I'm only on season 2 of JoJo. I haven't watched much of it. I'm sorry. I apologize. So, some of my favorite anime from this year. Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer is fucking good. It's a really fucking good anime, and it looks like they're setting themselves up for a season 2. Really excited. It's one of the best looking anime this year, in my opinion. Has a really good story, really, really good fight scenes, and it's incredible. It's a great anime. If you guys like fighting anime with a lot of emotional undertones and stuff, I suggest you watch Demon Slayer. Another anime I really liked this year is the newest season of My Hero Academia. It started off a little slow, but it's revved up and became very intense and very interesting, and it's playing off on a lot of emotional and intense topics that you wouldn't expect My Hero Academia to talk about and to go over. And yeah, like especially that latest episode that's going on this season is like so much more like hard hitting than any of the other seasons. So yeah, one of my favorite animes this year, and it's not even done yet, is My Hero Academia, the newest season. Let's see. Another anime that I really, really liked was Stars Align. It's on Hulu. I really don't know exactly how to describe this anime. It's a sports anime, but the sports are just kind of a part of it. It's not the focus. It pretty much goes over a lot of familial issues as well as like school related problems, and it's quite the life experience kind of anime. It's not a actiony fighting or like super sports intense anime, although there is sports moments in it. It's more about the characters and their personal lives and some of the emotional stuff going through. I don't really know what to say without spoiling, because it's very specific character growth moments and just character situations in general. I also applaud this anime because it does talk about things like sexuality and gender and stuff like that. And I know that's not for everyone. Some people just want to watch anime to have fun and they don't want to have to worry about this kind of stuff. But the fact that there's an anime that covers it in an interesting way, and it's not the whole point of the anime, it's just a part of it, covers it in a nice way. Fucking good. It's a good anime. Suggest it. And probably one of my favorite animes this year, arguably my favorite anime, is Dr. Stone. When I say my favorite anime, I mean my favorite anime from the season from this year is Dr. Stone. Dr. Stone is fucking good. It's really unique. It is a show about science. It's fucking gorgeous. It looks good. The story is good. The premise. Dr. Stone, yeah, Dr. Stone as well is pretty emotional. It has those emotional hits as well. It covers all the bases. It's just fucking good. I never thought I would like see an anime like that. I don't, once again, I don't want to spoil anything, but just fucking watch Dr. Stone. I'm really excited for the next season. And I really like the science stuff. Like they use, I guess to give you guys a quick TLDR or TLDW, the world has been petrified and humanity is starting over pretty much. And one of the people that became unpetrified was a teenager or a kid, or I guess he's not really a kid. He's like a young adult who is pretty much just like a scientific genius. And so he pretty much starts from scratch and through science rebuilds civilization, right? So he's finding minerals to make certain things. He's making very primitive devices to make things like electricity, for example. It's fucking good. It's a really, really good anime. So that's probably one of my favorite animes from arguably my favorite anime. This and My Hero Academia are probably my 2 favorite anime. Yeah, they were like, the marketing was fucking wild for this, and it kind of, I agree, it made it seem a little like schlock, the word that comes to mind. And that's another anime. It did take a few episodes to ramp up. It did. I can agree with that. But it was so fucking worth it. So worth it. Such a fucking good show. And finally, the last category for my favorite things is books and manga. I kind of like just lumped them together. So let's go over. I'll do the 2 manga that I read that I really just am obsessed with. And one of them is Junji Ito Frankenstein. It's a Junji Ito, if you aren't aware, is a horror artist and manga writer. Like I said earlier, I love horror, and Junji Ito is by far the best in my opinion. He's fucking, I don't know. He's fucking amazing. I'm a fanboy. I am trying to buy every Junji Ito piece I could ever get. And Frankenstein I picked up this year it's the majority of it is not his, I think he worked with someone. Is a retelling of the story of Frankenstein. But it's through the Junji Ito eyes. And it's fucking incredible. And it's amazing, and it looks fucking good, and it's gory and disgusting, and the story is interesting, and I love it. And then there's a bunch of short stories that come after Frankenstein that are in the book. So yeah, it's pretty fucking good. I really suggest it. I suggest anything, pretty much anything by Junji Ito. And another manga that I finished and I just really, really like is Extravaganza, The Queen and the Iron Mask. It's fucking gormless. It's kind of ridiculous, but it's really well drawn and the story is interesting. And it's kind of like my guilty pleasure, even though I don't like that word. I don't think anyone should have guilty pleasures. Just like what you like. Don't be ashamed. Don't feel guilty for liking something. Extravaganza, it has moments where it's just gormless and ridiculous and very anime-ish. But Extravaganza, the Queen of the Iron Mask, the Queen in the Iron Mask, is an action adventure manga about a girl who's a princess that goes out on her own adventures. Like, she doesn't like being cooped up in the castle, so she goes out, and this is kind of like a high fantasy world. So like out in the world there's monsters and ogres, and just, I'm into fantasy shit. I like D&D. It gives me a lot of D&D vibes, which helps it a lot. I love D&D. So yeah, it's fucking good. It's super simple, so I don't have a lot to explain. So, you know, just look it up. I suggest you read it. It's fucking cool. So moving on to the books that I really like this year. I just started reading about halfway into the year, so I don't have a lot of books that I've gotten through. But Fear and Loathing on the Campaign Trail of 72 by Hunter S. Thompson is quite the fucking read. It's about Hunter S. Thompson went on the campaign trail with somebody during 1972, and he pretty much tells everything that happened on the campaign trail, every dirty little secret, every tactic, the parties, the drugs, the insanity of politics in a book. I mean, that's all I can really say about it. The insanity of politics in a book is it the best way I can talk about that. And if you're even remotely interested in journalism or politics or anything like that, like, I'm not a big politics person, but I do dip my toes every now and then. Fear and Loathing on the Campaign Trail of 72. Fucking primo. It's really good. And then finally, my favorite book that I've read this year, and my favorite book probably ever, is The Sailor Who Fell from Grace with the Sea by Yukio Mishima. Also, I should say, these are on my list for favorite things of 2019. I don't think many of these came out in 2019, so I'm sorry, but it's just what I've started reading. I don't think you can really do that with books. I mean, I guess you can. You could read only books that came out in like the year you're living in, but that's a pretty dumb thing to do. Yeah, The Sailor That Fell from Grace with the Sea by Yukio Mishima. I don't know if it's because I read it when I was at the time I was not quite the most mentally healthy, but it's such a beautifully written book. It's not long, it's quite short. It's only this big, like 181 pages. I mean, like, you can see there's not a lot on each page. But it's a perfect book. It's a fucking perfect book. The plot, when I describe it to people, doesn't make it seem interesting, and so I don't want to describe the plot. It's such a simple plot, but the way it's written and how descriptive it is, and just the messages behind everything is so interesting and well done that it's a fucking good book. And a lot of people might read this with kind of a closed mind, and they might not really get what's going on, and that sounds really pretentious, and I hate people who talk like that. But if you're going to read this book, and I'm seriously imploring anyone who has a slightest interest in reading to read this book, I suggest you go into it with an open mind and try to read between the lines a bit, and also look up who Yukio Mishima is and what he believed in and all that stuff. And that will kind of make this book better. And maybe that doesn't make it a perfect book if you have to know the man behind it, and you have to, you know, I guess, try. But to me, it was fucking great, and it's a beautiful book. And I feel like that's the only way I can describe it. It's fucking good. It's really, really, really. Yeah, I don't know. Doesn't sound like a Death Stranding fanboy. I mean, I totally get it. If you feel, and this is a totally valid opinion, if you feel like it's a inherent flaw to know the what's the word I'm looking for? To know the ideas that the author had before you go into reading the book, and that makes it invalid, that makes the book shit. Ideology, yeah. That's totally fair. I get it. I totally get it. This was incredibly impactful for me. So I suggest you guys read it. I can't give details on it without being vague, and it won't really make sense. So, my favorite book I've ever read, The Sailor Who Fell from Grace with the Sea by Yukio Mishima. And that pretty much covers my favorite things from this year. Can you give me the cliff note? I mean, like, okay. I'm going to try my best to explain this book. Just briefly. While I'm a little intoxicated. So, there's a rich family, right? A mother, father, and a son. They're very world. This is all set in Japan. If you weren't aware, Yukio Mishima is a Japanese. Set in Japan. very wealthy family that handles in the trading of foreign goods, foreign clothes, foreign spices, foreign anything. You go through this family to get. And this book is set in like the 50s. So back in the day, back in the 50s, this shit is hard to get, right? So it's very expensive, very high class. The father in this family dies. So this family, this mother and son go on living their own lives, coping with the death of the father. And like I mentioned, these are very rich people. They have like a housemaid that like lives there, that kind of rich. And so the mother is expecting a shipment of stuff coming from overseas so that she can sell in her store, you know, this very expensive, lavish stuff from other countries. And she meets just a simple sailor from one of the boats. And the sailor kind of wins her over, right? And so the dynamic of a very simple person who has spent his whole life being hardened by being on the ocean, and this very sophisticated, dainty Japanese woman who sells exotic goods to rich people, and her brat son, who's very rich and sophisticated as well. He's like a middle school age. And this is where you kind of have to understand Yukio Mishima and his ideology. He was one of those people who believed in the way of the samurai, kind of. He believed in really being a man, being a role model, that kind of shit, right? Like honor, all that really old school Japanese samurai shit, right? And so from my research of this book, this sailor is like the ideal working, tough Japanese man. And so it's a weird, beautifully written, like almost love story about this hardened sailor meeting this Japanese woman, but then the dynamic with the younger son, who's like kind of an over-intelligent, pompous kid trying to accept this new father figure. And it's like a whole... There's a lot. It's a short book, but there's a lot in terms of emotional notes. And yeah, I don't know how else to describe it other than that. Because there's a huge twist that goes on later that I don't want to fucking spoil in case anyone reads it. But I really suggest you read it. It's not long. I was AFK. Can you start over? I'm not starting over. Read the fucking book. I suggest it a lot. It's my favorite book I've ever read. It's also just beautifully descriptive. Beautifully descriptive. The way he describes a scene is the best I've ever read. So, hey, Happy New Year, Quash. Happy New Year. Whew. So yeah, I think we've been over everything. We've been over all my favorite things, the Soap Brain Awards, some of the stuff I'm proud of, some of the stuff I want to work on. So I think we're done here. I think we're done. Thanks for hanging out, my dudes. It's greatly, greatly appreciated. I thank you guys for hanging out with me and dealing with all the inconsistencies in the content and through thick and thin and all that fun stuff. And just being involved. It's very, very appreciated. Thank you guys. I really do appreciate it. I'll see you guys around on the Discord and all that fun stuff. And I hope to make things more consistent. I hope to have a clear identity for the stream going into 2020 and a focus that I can put my energy into and feel motivated about. as I keep saying, please, any idea you have, I'm begging you. If you have any ideas, please send them to me. It doesn't have to be public. Privately, criticisms, any of that shit. Let me know. I love you guys. Have a good rest of your nights, and I hope you guys have a good new year. Peace.